in the media. AB is just like a drama queen. A friend told me that. No, but the thing is, what he's saying is correct. If that helmet that he's using is impairing him, he can't do the job to the best of his abilities, and he will bear the brunt of that criticism. Nobody will be saying he's dropping these balls because the helmet is impairing his vision. They'll be saying he's just lost it. And like I said, he is, because it's him saying it, it looks like he's being a crybaby. But if you look back in history, when Deion Sanders used to go both ways, offense and defense, he would switch from a cornerback's helmet to a wide receiver helmet. And that's the real thing. Cornerbacks and wide receivers, all those helmets look exactly the same to a person who's never played. But the wide receiver helmet is far different than the cornerback's helmet. But back to this Rich Paul thing. A guy who I kind of like. I like him and I respect his opinion because he gives his honest opinion. It's Tony Kornheiser. I don't think Tony Kornheiser is racist at all. He just sees things through an older white gentleman's point of view. He said Rich Paul, he doesn't like Rich Paul because he's trying to be a shadow commissioner. Rich Paul is just doing what every other big time agent has done. And when you say a brother who's exercising the same rights that other people exercise is trying to take over something, Tony, you sound racist. And maybe you don't realize it because you're just giving your point of view from an athletic perspective. And that's some bullshit. And I'm not going to look at Tony Kornheiser any different, but it does make me think about that round table discussion that I saw years ago when the man said it's a lot of people that have been programmed into these states of mind and don't even realize how racist that sounds. And it does sound racist because Rich Paul is just a brother who has an opportunity, just like a lot of people, and they got their friend helped them get a foot in the door, and due to his ability to negotiate and knowing the collective bargaining agreement well, he was able to take advantage of this. Why is it that in America, when you look like me or you're Latino, everything you do is to try to take over? We don't want to take over. Why don't you stop trying to dominate everything on the planet? Most people that walk the earth don't want to take over the world. They just want their slice of the pie. And because you've hoarded the pie for 400 plus years now, and now other people are staking claim on the pie, it does not mean that we want to be bakers and own the entire pie. Why don't you learn how to share? And that, at the end of the day, is what white America or the powers that be or whatever you want to call it, the 5% that controls the earth or whatever you want to call it. Maybe if you took a step back and learned how to put yourself feet in other people's shoes, you would see just how uncomfortable it is. Chris Rock years ago had a joke. It's tough being black. And y'all know it's tough being black. He said, if I gave any white person in this auditorium the opportunity to be black, they'd turn it down. He said, if I gave you the opportunity, you wouldn't even want to be me, and I'm rich. If you are, it's this old Little House on the Prairie episode where Todd Bridges is on it, and they asked him if he could change anything, what would he change? He said, I wouldn't want to be a nigga. And they got mad at him for it. And Michael Landon went and talked to him. And he said, being a nigga got my father killed. And he asked him, if you had the chance to live to be 100, would you? He said, yeah, I would. He said, would you want to live to be 100 and be black, or would you want to live to be 50 and be white? And Michael Landon walked out on that. So while people always want to look at us and talk about we playing the race card and all this, why don't you take a step back? That same empathy you want me to afford to other communities like the Jewish community during World War II, the Japanese community during World War II, the people that are known as the Native Americans, over the last 400 years, since 1492, last 600 years. If you want me to have empathy for them, you want me to have empathy for the LGBTQ community. You want me to have empathy for everybody in the world, but nobody offers empathy for the people of my community. So while y'all often want us to extend empathy, how about stop telling me how I'm not taking advantage of things? Like me and the brother Victor Morrow was talking last night, and he was telling me how it's people who look like us from other places that think we're squandering opportunities. We're not squandering opportunities. We are being met with oppression and disrespect at every turn. And every time someone steps up in our community, as Victor Morrow pointed out on his show last night, it gets snuffed out. Whether it be the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Noble Drew Ali, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Stokely Carmichael, aka Kwame Ture, and others. Anytime people step up in our community, they're getting taken out. So while people always want us to afford them certain luxuries and overlook those things, I need all of us to look each other in the face and stop separating us, for one. How about this? Instead of fighting for women's rights, LGBTQ rights, Jewish rights, the title native rights and black rights, how about we do exactly what the great Malcolm X did when he went to the United Nations and fight for human rights? Because there's no pushback for humanity. People who are part of the human, as living on this planet as human beings, to be treated equally and fairly no matter where you are. If you push back on that, then you, my friend, are a devil. You are the definition of a devil. Because if you don't want people to be treated with the utmost respect, you have a problem. Let me read this chat room. Saw RC put up something. I'm sure Wilbon checked him on that. I disagree. Tony K is not a racist. No, I don't. You agree? I'm sorry, I misread you. I agree. Tony K is not a racist. He's spoken out on many issues pertaining to African Americans. Yeah. Actually, Tony K was more on my side than Mike was. Mike was going back. Mike was straddling on the fence because Mike believes in education, but he also highlighted the fact, RC, that his dad didn't even get out of high school. The way he made it seem like his dad was successful here in Chicago and probably didn't get past the 9th grade. Sounds like Mike Tirico, who said, I'm not sure on the Mike Tirico thing. Educate me on why you said that Mike Tirico. They have New Jersey playing in the New York Little League playoffs, beating their ass 9-0. Yeah, keep watching that shit. Keep watching that shit. It's wildly entertaining. Bunch of kids blowing out kids. Boo! Keep watching that shit. Absolutely, from my man Victor Morrow. Y'all talked about Medgar Evers' witness. Did y'all know Dick Gregory was with him? Yes, I knew about that the day before they murdered him. He wanted him to stay. Medgar told him his son died, so Dick had to go. Exactly. I knew about that. See, this brother RC, man, I love when RC comes into my chat room. That's why I said I'm not gonna limit him to sports aficionado. I mean, boxing aficionado or sports aficionado. He's a jack of all trades. This is a brother who's well versed in most things in history and especially things pertaining to the upliftment of our community. That's why the build for this network is so dope, because we have the RCs, we have the Victor Morrows, we have the Chief Rocket Jersey Brown, we have consistent listeners like my homegirl Miss Unique, Sabrina, Milk and Cookies, Ann Jackson, Moni, my main man Macy, Big Illinois, Joe, and hundreds of others. We really want you guys to tell a friend, to tune in to the Build for This network, because we're not only going to talk about sports and entertain and play awesome music. We're going to talk about issues that hit you, no matter what background you're from. Are we rooting for our team? You goddamn right we're rooting for our team. But we're rooting for the team of humanity as well. Family, clan, village, tribe. That's how we getting down here at Built for This Network. Oh man, did you see the Dick Gregory video talking about it? Yeah, it was some cold. So yeah, man, anytime you see Dick Gregory open his mouth, man, you're gonna see some cold blooded like Rick James stuff come out his mouth. I'm gonna play this clip that this brother was talking about Wednesday on the Brothers Gonna Work It Out show. He was talking about white America needs to open up their eyes. Look, if you get offended by anybody on my network or our network, I'm sorry, y'all, on our network, talking about the reality of the situation, reality of my situation in America, then this is what I want you to do. Keep listening. Because if you're offended and you hear something wrong, we give you the opportunity to express your opinions. But all we're doing is asking for respect. We have, correction. All we're doing is demanding that the respect that we should get as human beings. And if you can't offer us the respect as a human being, then there's nothing wrong with me, the number one chief rock of Jersey Fern, and Victor Morrow. There's something wrong with you. You are the one with the problem. We don't have a problem. We demand the respect that every human being that walks the face of the earth that lives in the United States of America should and will get. If you don't like that, then again, man, this might not be the network for you. If you have a genuine concern about something we say, we listen. But if your only concern is you don't want to talk about race, might not be the network for you. We here to respect every human being that walks the face of the earth, and we as a community demand the respect that we are not getting throughout the universe. And all we're doing is galvanizing our community and moving forward with information in regards to diet, in regards to well-being. Like Chief Rocker said, we supporting each other, and if you want to be a part of the community, we'll support you as well. Mentally, physically, spiritually, we got your back, but we are not going to accept any disrespect. Point blank, period. With that being said, I want to thank everybody who tuned in today to the End of the Bench podcast. I am HRap B. This is the Built for This Network. I want to thank everybody in the chat room. I usually go through every one of them. I'm not going to go through that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cancel that practice. But I do want you to know I respect, honor, and appreciate everybody listening. Once again, good night. This is the End of the Bench podcast. I am HRap B. Tune in Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want to send a shout out to my girl Low Key and her twin sister. We got your back. We got mad prayers out in the air for you. We sending nothing but positive energy to you. We want you to get better as soon as humanly possible. We will go through this. We will support you through this. We will get everything cracking. Much love to everybody who tuned in. Big ups to everybody who listened. This is HRap B again. This is the End of the Bench podcast.
Built for This Network.